Are we about to do a video? Is it about to be a video time? Is it about to be a video time? Is everybody excited? Welcome everyone to another episode of 60 Formula. Look how excited the pups are today. They're like, let's go. Let's get to another episode. Let's do it. Guess what we're doing today, guys? We're looking at Disney VHSs. This is an updated Disney VHS collection video. I'm going to be showing you guys the entire Disney VHS collection. We're going to be looking at all of them in order of when they were released on video. And they're all set up. They're in a new location. We're going to go check it out. I'm so excited. Don't mind all the mess. Don't mind the helmet, the t-shirt, the game. The pups are just like, can we go in the other room, Dad? We really want to see the freaking Disney movies. Let's go. Come on. Come on. No fighting. There's time for everyone to get there. What you guys are looking at is my complete Disney VHS collection. Now, I've done a video on this several times before. I've shown you guys the entire collection before. Just this time, this is updated because I have got a lot of new stuff. Excuse me, miss. Can you move, please? This is the entire gold collection down here. As you can see, not completed yet. We have some special editions and some other really interesting things right here. We have the Masterpiece Collection, which is actually complete, I'm pretty sure. And then we have the classics going up to the original Disney releases all the way to the original black release of Pinocchio. That's where we're going to start today. But before we get into any of these, we're going to go up top. So up here, I've kind of put together a bunch of different Blu-ray collections, video collections, Disney trading pins, Disney coins, all sorts of just different Disney collecting stuff. Now, we've already looked at my pins. I kind of keep them right here in this little baggie. This is a little mug I got from Walt Disney World. Love it. It's got all sorts of different rides on it. Here's the Jungle Cruise, Space Mountain, and you got Big Thunder Mountain. Loved this. Found it in the park. Went ahead and purchased it. And then, of course, we have a pressed coin collection book. So right now, I've only filled up one page. You can see some of them. Let's see if we can get close. We have like Winnie the Pooh, Pluto, Donald, Tinkerbell. Just a few of the classics in here. Had to start collecting the pennies in the park because they're really, really fun to collect for if you guys haven't ever done that. Let's go ahead. First things first, let's knock out the Blu-ray collection because it has nothing really to do with Disney VHSs and I have very little of them. So first is Beauty and the Beast, Hercules, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, which by the way is in the vault. This one you can't get anymore. Aristocats, Mary Poppins, Lion King 1.5, such a good movie. Toy Story, Dumbo, Princess and the Frog, A Bug's Life, Snow White, Lion King, Lilo and Stitch, and Moana. So up top, these are some of my oldest Disney VHSs. First, we're gonna go over these. These are my oldest. This is Sport Goofy. Now, I found all of these movies I'm about to show you in the wild. They're all been found in either a Goodwill or a thrift store. This one I found in a Goodwill in a town by me. Now, this came out in, I believe, 1984. It's a collection of shorts that were popular back in the day. And this one is just specific to Goofy and has all of his sports episodes on it. The next one is the best of Disney's 1932 and to 1946. This includes a lot of favorites, including the Three Little Pigs, and as you can see, Jack and the Beanstalk right there. This is an awesome video to have. And if you look inside, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up for you guys real quick. You can see that these are really old. I mean, they look really old. You don't ever see VHSs typically looking like this with these giant plastic things right there. Usually they're much smaller than that, but yeah, these are very, very early Disney releases on VHS. Finally, I have Sport Goofy's Vacation. And this is similar to Sport Goofy. If you're wondering, this one is number... I know they're numbered somewhere on here. Here we go. Volume 8. So this is the 8th volume. The one with the 3 little pigs on it is the 7th volume, and Sports Goofy is the earliest volume at Volume 4. I don't know how many of these there are. I think there's about 13 or 16 or so, and I'm gonna try and get the whole set. They're called the Cartoon Classics, and these are basically just the earliest VHSs that you can get when it comes to Walt Disney Home Video. Now, let's move on to a couple others that I have. Up here, we have a Cartoon Classics limited gold edition of Pluto. Now, there's a lot of these. There's one for Mickey, there's one for Donald, there's one for Goofy, there's one for Daisy. This is the Pluto one, and it's not in the best condition. It's got some water damage to it, but nevertheless, it's very old, very cool. Kind of hard to see because it's so wrinkled. I'm trying to get up close so you guys can see everything on it, but yeah, this is also a really neat find. So if you guys ever see any of these out in the wild, be sure to pick them up. All right, so 2 of the earlier Walt Disney Home Video releases that I have are Mary Poppins, and you can see this is like one of the original ones. Pete's Dragon. Now, they didn't really come out with too many animated films like this in these type of clamshell cases. They were mostly animated films that were also live action, which is why Pete's Dragon and Mary Poppins are in these types of cases. You can tell when you open these up, they look a lot different from the newer VHSs. These have the long sticker that reaches all the way down to the bottom of the VHS. We'll open up Pete's Dragon. I'll show you that same thing going on here. So anytime you see a VHS or a Disney VHS that has those long stickers reaching all the way down to the bottom, you know you've got an older copy of the movie. Typically in the 90s, the later 90s, leading up to the 2000s, they just printed the title of the VHS onto the actual VHS instead of putting stickers on them. So it just made it easier. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start the entire collection video now. Basically the whole set that I have of all my Disney films, and we're gonna be starting out with Pinocchio. And this is the first way that it was released. There are only 2 Walt Disney VHS movies that are released like this in a black clamshell, and that's Robin Hood and Pinocchio. In fact, Robin Hood was the first Disney VHS released like this, and it was in a black clamshell. I haven't found that yet, but I do have the Pinocchio. Go ahead and show you the back of that real quick. This one is very difficult to find. If you ever see this, be sure to pick it up. I originally thought that the black ones were sold in theme parks, but after much more research, I found out that they were just the first versions of the movie released. Going on, we have the 3 Caballeros. Now, this is the original release of it. You typically see the Masterpiece release, but this is the original. It came out in the late 80s. So Dear to My Heart, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and Mary Poppins. Now you'll see right here that I have 2 Dumbo movies. This is because both of them are different. There are actually 4 different versions of this Dumbo. This is the 3rd and the 4th version, and I know this because of the types of commercials that are accompanied with each type of VHS. So you're able to actually put the videos in, turn them on, and there are different commercials or trailers in the beginning of each of these movies. So these are 2 different types of Dumbos, just like these Alice in Wonderlands that I'll get to in just a moment. The next one is going to be the original version of Sword in the Stone. The artwork is a little bit different here compared to the re-release, which looks like this, and we'll get to this movie as well. But you can see the 2 putting them together, the older one and then the newer one. And then we're going to go to the Alice in Wonderland that I was just explaining. And these 2 are also very different. They come with different beginnings to each of the VHS. They come with different logos in the beginning, and even the VHS themselves is different. There's also another version of this video that says Walt Disney's classic Alice in Wonderland, but it's very hard to find, and I have not been able to find it so far. But let's go ahead and open these up. You'll see this first one is how I was explaining the newer VHSs are created. They basically just print the title onto the VHS, and the second one is actually a sticker that's been posted onto the VHS. So these are 2 different versions of Alice in Wonderland. While they are the same release of the same movie, both have different things on them. So I've collected both of them. There are lots of Disney VHSs that are like that.
They are both the same release, released in the same collection. However, they have different commercials and different trailers, and it makes it an entirely different movie to collect. Next up is Cinderella. Not one you see too commonly. I have a hard time finding Cinderella, especially the original classic version. Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, Bambi, The Little Mermaid. And yes, this is the version that has the weird looking shaped castle pillars. Questionable. We got Peter Pan, The Jungle Book. Now this is a re-release of Dumbo. We already went over the other two pink versions that we know there are 4 versions of, and there are a couple versions of this Dumbo as well. However, I only have one of them. There's Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, The Rescuers. We're gonna come down to the next shelf. Fantasia, 101 Dalmatians, The Great Mouse Detective. Now, this one is not a Diamond movie, the DuckTales movie. It doesn't have the Classics logo on it. However, it does have the diamond on the side with Scrooge's faces in it. And it also was released around the same exact time that The Great Mouse Detective was released. So I just went ahead, I put it right there. It looks like it fits in. And I don't want to forget that movie. I love the DuckTales movie. It's amazing. The Rescuers, and yes, The Rescuers was released on VHS after The Rescuers Down Under. Again, I mentioned these movies are in the order that the VHS was actually released in. Beauty and the Beast. This is another release of Pinocchio. Most of you, this would have been your first release. Aladdin and The Fox and the Hound. And that kind of ends the classic collection. However, I've added both the sequels to Aladdin right here next to it because they both have Jafar and the genie in the diamond. So basically what I did was if a Disney movie had a character in a diamond shape, I went ahead and put them in the classics section because I think they all look good together like that. And there are a lot of movies that I do consider classics that aren't added to the classics section officially. So we're gonna be moving on to the masterpiece section. Now, this is the first time that Snow White was released. Amazing because that is Disney's first movie, full-length animated movie. Then Mary Poppins. Now, Mary Poppins was released 1,000 times in the masterpiece section, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about that as soon as we hit another Mary Poppins, but that was the second movie released as the masterpiece. Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, Robin Hood, The Sword and the Stone, Pete's Dragon, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, The Three Caballeros, So Dear to My Heart, and The Lion King. This is the first time The Lion King saw a release on home video, was the Masterpiece Collection. I really wish that it got a classics version because The Lion King was an epic film and I think it is worthy of that. We have Cinderella, Pocahontas, The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, The Aristocats, Oliver and Company, Bambi, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Fun and Fancy Free. All right, now here's another Mary Poppins film. This Mary Poppins film, let's bust it out real quick. It looks identical to another masterpiece version that came out as well. It was released later and it's down here, and I'll go ahead and I'll show it to you. Basically, the only difference is just that one says THX, the other says fully restored, but one is like a limited edition, I guess. You can tell the titles just has like a gold banner to it. That's the difference, basically. I don't really know what else the difference is between these two, but for some reason they decided, hey, Mary Poppins needs 3 releases on the Masterpiece Collection. So you got 3 Mary Poppins, I guess, for Masterpiece, which kind of is a waste in my opinion, because Mary Poppins was released on like every single Disney collection. It's insane. So then you have these next two are Sleeping Beauty and Sleeping Beauty. Now, one is just a widescreen edition of the other, but it does have a completely different cover to the VHS, so that's really interesting. They only did the widescreen version to a couple of the Disney VHSs on the Masterpiece Collection. The Jungle Book, Hercules, Peter Pan, The Little Mermaid, Melody Time, The Black Cauldron, very obscure Disney film. Now, this is the other movie that got the widescreen release, Lady and the Tramp. You can see here is the Masterpiece edition. And here is the widescreen edition. For some reason, Disney thought it would be a good idea to release Lady and the Tramp in widescreen. I think this was a trend that was happening right before DVDs came out, because a lot of DVDs that came out really early are like, widescreen version. Comes both versions on this one DVD. Next was The Rescuers, Mulan, 101 Dalmatians. Moving down, we've got That Other Mary Poppins, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, Robin Hood. All right, that's the entire Masterpiece collection, spanning from right here, up here, and finally ending right down here. And what you're gonna see after this is going to be special editions and anniversary editions. So we have an anniversary edition of Mary Poppins, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Lion King, Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella. This Aladdin I actually just found. It's the Platinum Edition, and it is not easy to find. So if you guys see this version of Aladdin, be sure to pick it up. These special editions are always really cool. They have awesome covers in comparison to their other counterparts. They're really fun to find and pick up. Look how cool these look. I mean, the covers of these Platinum editions are just really great. Unfortunately though, Walt Disney's Cinderella, the special edition, did not come in a clamshell. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain it only came in a paperback. So let me know if I'm wrong on that, because I can't find it in clamshell version. All right, finally moving down to the very bottom, we're going to go over the gold collection. Now I've not completed the gold collection yet. I'm still working on it. There's a few that I'm still missing, especially the Goofy movie gold collection. If you guys are able to find that, make sure to grab it because it's pretty obscure. Goofy movie wasn't that big of a movie when it came out, especially to have a re-release for it. It's kind of weird. Starting out on the bottom row, the entire gold collection that I have: Toy Story, Mulan, Pinocchio, Aristocats, Fox and the Hound. Aristocats, pretty difficult to find. Fox and the Hound, probably one of the easiest gold collections to find. The Three Caballeros, Saludos Amigos, Melody Time, Pocahontas, Fun and Fancy Free, Another Mary Poppins, The Gold Alice in Wonderland, a very hard gold collection movie to find, Robin Hood, The Rescuers Down Under, Hercules, A Bug's Life, Pocahontas 2 for some reason. I have no idea why they would gold collection that. The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Pete's Dragon, The Sword and the Stone, and Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And those are all of the Disney VHSs that I have. I'm always collecting, I'm always going and picking up more videos every single day. It depends on when I have the time to find them and how lucky I get. Sometimes you just have a hard time, especially these days when nobody has VHSs anymore. It's becoming really hard to find the old classics. So thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped you if you're trying to figure out how to organize or collect some Disney VHSs. This isn't an entire full complete collection, but it's a majority of the Disney VHSs that were released in the clamshell cases. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you liked the episode, please leave a like, and I will see you guys next time with whatever I make. Peace.